Good morning. I didn't plan on making this video this morning, but I had a very deep sleep last night, and I had a number of dreams. And parts of those dreams, I saw flashes of people from my past, people that I had met, people that I had known. And some of those people were already deceased, and some of them were still alive. And so I just quickly kind of rose up after a couple of different conversations that I had with some others about some of the dreams that I was having. And the amazing part is that when I sat down, I immediately began searching for those names of the people, regardless of whether they were deceased or not. And the very first thing that I found on one of them was Kanya West. Now, I've met Kanye a number of times, not so much so that I remember too much of what it was. I just remember meeting him over the course of maybe some industry parties or potentially even business deals or in partnership deals or investment deals. Not really sure where they were. I can't really recall which projects they were. At one time I was very involved in many things. So with that said, Kanye came up and I watched a video of him talking, and he was on the floor of TMZ's building, and he was saying some things that are every bit of a confirmation of all of the things that I've been speaking to you about with regards to the conscious state of the people. So those that are waking up, those that are intended to wake up, is what is happening. Now, Kanye was describing something that was very interesting, because he said that and I'm not aware of, just to help you understand, I'm not aware of Kanye's past. I don't pay attention to these things. And so I'm not aware of Kanye's past run-ins with, with the paparazzi. I'm not aware of any of these things. All I heard was him talking about his situation and how he had gone to the hospital and was prescribed medication because he didn't want to be put into an institution. He didn't want to be institutionalized as crazy, so he went to the hospital and went to doctors to essentially solve his problems that he was running from, because everybody was saying that he was crazy, that his visions were crazy. Well, this is exactly what I've been talking to you about. As you begin to see these things, the same thing you've experienced is that everybody will call you crazy. But the reality is we are all seeing the same things. We are not collectively going crazy. What is happening is we are collectively coming out of being crazy. And those that are still within the matrix of evil, so to speak, are the ones that are crazy. In fact, they're dead. The scriptures speak of them as twice dead, both spiritually dead and mentally dead. They do not have a thought of their own. Now, Kanye mentioned some things, which I'm going to play little snippets of the videos, and I may get a copyright violation from it. I'm not quite sure. I shouldn't, because I'm giving an opinion about something, and that does fall within the fair use guidelines. So, but just in case this video doesn't stay up, I just wanted you to be aware that they might take these things down. It's very important to hear what he's saying, because the courage, as he speaks of, that it takes to come out and to speak these things. It takes courage because you know people are going to call you crazy, but at some point you must register that you are not crazy. And the things that he's speaking of is that he's talking about ideas, he's talking about things that have been put upon him, that he's not allowed to think outside the box. So there you have the crown of thorns. So the crown of thorns that they were putting back on his head was the fear. This is the double-edged sword that prevents you from going back into the garden. This is precisely what Scripture speaks of. So what you're seeing, if you go back to Scripture, see, we've been trained to make these Scriptures about something long ago, and I will continually reiterate that the Scriptures are about right now. The testimony of Yeshua is about right now. It is about you. It is about the body. It is about this consciousness, the consciousness of Christ. Anyone, for any reason, that tells you that there is no such thing as this Christ consciousness, all you have to do is pay a little bit of attention to what's going on out there, and people are speaking the exact same things that I'm speaking here, that you're speaking there. the exact same visions. And these visions have to do with the inability to think on your own, because of the programming state that you've been placed within. You are told what opinions to have. You don't have any opinion you want. You don't get to determine anything on your own. You're given a few choices, just as I've said, the president has a few choices of what to pick for the head of the Federal Reserve. All of them are predetermined. So the enemy has programmed you that you have just a number of choices. Do you have a choice on who to be president? Really? No, you don't. You have a choice of whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, and ultimately they'll define who that is put up for the election. And so usually you always have the state or the comment that, oh well, it's the better of two evils. This is the healthy thing. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You'll be called cuckoo. You'll be called crazy. Now, understand that in all things being inverse during these times, as Scripture says, they are the ones that are cuckoo. They are the ones that are crazy. So rest assured that you are in the minority, but truly the majority. Not the majority in numbers, but the majority in spirit and in mind, because you can think on your own, and you have dropped all the fear. You have taken the crown of thorns off. You are rising yourself from the dead. All of the scriptures in the allegory is intended for you to understand it when it's taking place. And so that is why the scriptures come to life in such vivid form to you right now. And that is why I speak to them in this way. Your courage for standing out and speaking the things that you're speaking to your family and friends, you're going to experience everything that Christ experienced, just as it is written, that the testimony of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy, meaning it is your prophecy. You will experience the same thing. We are the body. So I wanted to express, because of this, to drop judgment, to stop judging the senseless and meaningless things. And this harkens back to the scripture that says, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. For it's better that you lose that member than lose all of you in hell. Well, this is what I speak of. That these little judgments, evaluate them from I would say, a value standpoint. What are you going to obtain for that judgment? So the discernment that you must have within yourself is a discernment that determines whether you're going to gain from it and what it is that you gain, or whether you're going to lose. And this is where arguments and anger and all of these emotions come in. Drop them. Question every one of them. If your anger isn't at the cause of the situation, but it's at a person, well then you have a problem already. Because you should be angry collectively at the cause of what is causing this. Do not be angry at the person. That's when you judge yourself, because you were once that person. You were once dead, maybe even twice dead. So be angry at the cause. This is when you've heard me say many times that something will be brought up and I'll say, those are just pimples on the dragon, and I kill dragons. Because I do. I have no interest in harming the person. I don't hold anything against any individual, even when they've tried to harm me. I understand where they're coming from. I understand that they're still within that evil matrix. And I understand that that evil matrix has designed them in such a way that they've been given the one-word phrases or the statements that is intended to try to take me back into the matrix, try to correct me. Every disease has its own operatives, and they are simply the operative of the disease of this world. You need to be a free thinker and understand on your own. And as I play these clips from Kanye, I want you to see that he has stated that he was terrified of what other people think. Now think of this for a second. He was so scared about what other people think that he was willing to put himself in the hospital and take drugs. Kanye, some advice. You said that you're taking pills a few times a week now. Stop them all. None of those are going to help you. Every single bit of what this world has given you in the past is there to destroy you. You are waking up. Just as Scripture says, hold fast to what you have, lest someone take your crown. The crown has been given to you. It's yours to maintain. Keep it on your head. Do not consume anything else. Continue to speak the truth. Don't abuse it. And don't glorify yourself. Do not become a person that says, I am, but say, we are. It is important that you maintain your humility in this. Otherwise, you just become an operative for the beast. This is the second path as to which he will control. So the enemy himself knows this process very well. And so the temptation is that we think that we can take this ring, so to speak, right? This ring to control all, the ring to control the minds of people. Because once you understand this enlightenment, once you understand these things, you can be, let's just say, corrupted quite easily. So it requires a continual maintenance, that you always check yourself minute by minute, that you keep your ego at bay, because ego is death. I encourage you all to share this, because what you're witnessing right now is you're witnessing the words that Kanye was speaking within TMZ, and you can even see the people around him shaking their heads yes. This is a collective understanding that when these words are spoken, all of a sudden you begin to hear them. But I would expect great changes, because time is short.
So the reason why I dropped those tweets and everything, because I was drugged the fuck out, bro. And I'm not drugged out. These pills that they want me to take 3 of a day, I take 1 a week, maybe 2 a week. Y'all had me scared of myself, of my vision. So I took some pills so I wouldn't go to the hospital and prove everyone right. We are drugged out. We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today it all changes. You got Tupac and Lennon in that hallway. Today it all changes. We need to think how to think free. We need to be free thinkers. Then we need to learn how to feel free. People say feel free, but we don't even know how to feel free or think free. Say what you feel, positive or negative. I just got off the phone with J. Cole. He said, how you feel when they said the Crips is gonna kill you? I said, man, that was the headline. But when they said they wanted to beat me up, I said, that's great. They're my brothers. They love me. They don't want nothing to happen to Ye. They just want to beat some sense into me. I love Daz. I love the Crips. I love the Bloods. I love everyone. How many people are feeling, how many people felt something that I said today? Raise a hand if you felt something that I said today. Do you feel that I'm feeling, do you feel that I'm being free and I'm thinking free?